another left. And they answered and said unto him, Where, Lord? And he said unto them, Whithersoever the body is, thither will the eagles be gathered together.
Right, so fuck GOC. We ain't going over to Egypt or Israel and so forth. Pull up the Ebola. We ain't going to no fucking Israel and shit, so we can get caught up in that BS that's going on over there in Israel. So now we're gonna move to the second phase of this, and we're gonna go in on this computer and show y'all and start lining up this propaganda. Pull the computer up more. And we're gonna show y'all how this works. So first thing, go to these. Like Sierra Leone. Go up. Go up. Just go all the way back up to the top. Go down. It's right here on the hill. Right there. You gotta slide on. Type on Sierra Leone.
Alright.
Now go up and show where you're going first.
This is the Ebola virus disease on the Wikipedia.
On Wikipedia, on what they gave you stupid people. So when you go down, go Sierra Leone. Now let's see why they started in Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Libya. Now let's see why they want to start here and what this got to do with our nation. Go to European traders.
Okay.
Let me show y'all why I came from these three spots. Go all the way down. You're gonna see it. European traders. Read.
Alright, European traders.
Sit up.
European contacts with Sierra Leone were among the first in West Africa. In 1462, Portuguese explorer Pedro de Sintra mapped the hills surrounding what is now Freetown Harbor, naming the shape formation Sierra da Leoa, or Sierra Leoa, Portuguese for lioness, mountains. The Spanish rendering of this geographic formation is Sierra Leona, which later was adopted and misspelled, became the country's current name. Soon after Sintra's expedition, Portuguese traders arrived at the harbor. By 1495, they had built a fortified trading post. The Dutch and French also set up trade here, and each nation used Sierra Leone as a trading point for slaves brought by African traders from interior areas.
But see that? The Israelites.
In 1562, the English initiated the Triangle Trade.
The Triangle Trade, which is called the Atlantic Slave Trade.
When Sir John Hawkins transported 300 enslaved Africans, acquired by the sword and partly by other means, to the Spanish colony of Santo Domingo in the Caribbean, where he sold them.
Right, which them was Israelites. So that's why, go to the next one. Sierra Leone, Guinea. Come on, man. Go back, up one, go right in Guinea. So as you can see, the white man put it there. So why? So the Israelites can be affected in Africa and over here and all over the world. But now let's see why Guinea got it. And when you go to Guinea, come on, you gotta look at my paper. Colonial era. Go right down to that. Right there.
Alright. Colonial era. The slave trade came to the coastal region of Guinea with European adventurers in the 16th century. Slavery had always been part of everyday life, but the scale increased as slaves were exported to work elsewhere in the triangular trade. Guinea's colonial period began with French military penetration into the area in the mid-19th century. French domination was assured by the defeat in 1898 in the armies of Samurai Tour, Mansa, or emperor of the Wassoulou state and leader of Malinke descent, which gave France control of what today is Guinea and adjacent areas. France negotiated Guinea's present boundaries in the late 19th and early 20th centuries with the British for Sierra Leone, the Portuguese for their Guinea colony, now Guinea-Bissau, and Liberia under the French. The country formed the territory of Guinea within French West Africa, administered by a governor-general resident in Dakar. Lieutenant governors administered the individual colonies, including Guinea.
Right, so the point is, it tells you in the colonial era that what? The slave trade came to the coastal region of Guinea. So them was the Israelites right there. That's why they using these places. Now let's do Liberia. Where it say the history. Go to where it say the people.
Okay.
So go up a little bit so they can see the way you get it from. Because brothers need to check this. So you go to the history on where you at?
Liberia.
Liberia. Go to history on Wikipedia. And go ahead. That's how you prove who everybody is.
Then
Right
people.
there. Yeah. The people among the coast.
People along the coast built canoes and traded with other West Africans from Cape Verde to the Gold Coast. Between 1461 and late 17th century, Portuguese, Dutch, and British traders had contacts and trading posts in the region. The Portuguese named the area Costa da Pimenta, Pepper Coast, but it later came to be known as the Grain Coast due to abundance of grains of Malagueta pepper. European traders would barter various commodities and goods with the local people. When the crew began trading with Europeans, they initially traded in commodities, but later they actively participated in the African slave trade.
See that? The mother Israelites. That's how we know these Israelites in these lands.
In 1820, the American Colonization Society,
Now this finna prove more that these Israelites. Watch what happened.
ACS, began sending African American volunteers to the Pepper Coast to establish a colony for freed African Americans.
See that?
By 1867, the ACS had assisted in the movement of more than 13,000 Americans to Liberia.
Ah. Now you see why Liberia getting hit? Look who over there.
These free African Americans came to identify themselves as Americo-Liberian,
See that?
developing a cultural tradition infused with American notions of racial supremacy and political republicanism. The ACS, a private organization supported by prominent American politicians such as Abraham Lincoln, Henry Clay,
See that? They know who we is. They even funded it out their own pocket.
and James Monroe, believed repatriation was preferable to emancipation of slaves. Similar organizations established colonies in Mississippi
See that? Israelites. That's how we know these Israelites.
and Africa, and the Republic of Maryland, which were later annexed by Liberia. On July 26, 1847, the settlers issued a declaration of which, based on the political principles denoted in the United States Constitution, created the independent Republic of Liberia. The leadership of the new nation consisted largely of Americo-Liberians.
See that? Israelites. Calling themselves anything but that.
The 1865 Ports of Entry Act prohibited foreign commerce with the inland tribe. In 1877, the Americo-Liberian True Whig Party was the most powerful political power in the country. Competition for office was usually contained within the party, whose nomination virtually ensured election. Pressure from the United Kingdom and France led to a loss of Liberia's claims to extensive territories, which were annexed by adjoining countries. Economic development was hindered by the decline of markets for Liberian goods in the late 19th century and indebtedness on a series of international loans. In Liberia's early years, the Americo-Liberian settlers periodically encountered stiff and sometimes violent opposition from indigenous Africans.
Right, see that? Because them Africans know y'all Israelites won't fuck with y'all. Y'all ain't cutting us in, so we'll fuck y'all up. So as you can see, those three places that was attacked is basically, that was given the Ebola, is where Israelites at, and we proved it. Now I'm gonna go on the show, you can put me on. Now I'm gonna go on the show called Zombie Nation. And I learned about this show from being a fan of The Walking Dead. Put me on. Of The Walking Dead. Now, here's the show right here. It's called Znation, Resurrection, Z Season 1, Episode 6. New, a utopian enclave may not be all it seems near, what's that? Branson, Missouri. The group encounter a religious cult. Action, thriller, drama. So this guy basically think in this religious cult that when the people die, they get resurrected, according to how the Bible say. We show this nigga's an idiot. So I'm gonna go in and show y'all where it started.
only on Znation.
Those are zombie bites. 8 of them. You're looking at the only human known to have survived being bitten by a zombie.
10
If we
minutes.
can get him to the lab in California, they can use his blood and make more of the vaccine.
Is that what I think?